Men do not fall in love because of your physical appearance. They do not fall in love because of your performance in the bedroom. They do not even fall in love because you prepared his favorite meal several nights in a row. The reality is far more unexpected, more psychological, and more challenging than you might believe. Until one specific thing occurs, he will enjoy your company. He will like you. He might even pursue you, but he will not love you. Pay close attention, because once you understand this, you will see why some women are chosen for a lifetime while others are left behind faster than a bad date. Let's be clear about how this works. Men do not fall in love the way women usually imagine. You might assume he looks at your beauty, enjoys your sense of humor, feels a spark, and suddenly falls in love. That is incorrect. That is simply attraction. That is a chemical reaction in his brain telling him you are attractive and to keep going. Love is not a sudden explosion of fireworks. It is more like building a house. His mind has to construct love piece by piece. Unless a specific emotional requirement is met, he will not build it at all. This is why you see situations where a guy texts every day, acts perfectly, introduces you to his world, and then suddenly claims he is not ready for a serious commitment. What he really means is that the necessary emotional trigger was never pulled. He was enjoying the attraction, but he never moved into the territory of love. The biggest error many women make is thinking that doing more will lead to love. They give too much, care too much, and invest everything, believing that if they prove their loyalty, he will realize they are the one. Unfortunately, in his mind, that does not translate to love. It translates to convenience. It is like providing someone with free entertainment and food. He will certainly enjoy it, but will he value it? No. He will simply use those benefits until they are gone and then move on to something else. Love does not grow from being comfortable. It grows from being emotionally challenged in a way that still feels secure. Most women miss this balance entirely. Attraction is easy and common, like a free sample at a store. It requires no real effort, which is why a man can feel it for many people at once. But love requires him to invest his time, his energy, and his true self. Men do not fall in love until they feel that their personal investment is worth the cost. This does not mean you should play mind games or act cold. It means you must trigger the one thing his brain is secretly looking for, something that money or looks cannot provide. What actually changes his mind? Men do not fall in love unless they feel emotionally significant. Think about that word, significant. Not just attractive or fun, but important. This is what separates a casual date from a committed partner. Until a man feels that his presence and his efforts actually matter to you, his heart remains closed. This is not about fake compliments. Men can tell when praise is not genuine. It is about giving him the rare feeling that he is more than just a provider or a paycheck. When a man feels significant, like he brings a unique value to your life that no one else can, his brain decides he cannot afford to lose you. That is when love truly starts. Most women fail to trigger this because they either give too much and make him feel like a guest rather than a partner, or they criticize him until he feels like he is failing at a job. Sometimes they give off an energy that suggests he is easily replaceable. If he does not feel like his role in your life is unique, he will never invest his emotions. Men attach when they feel useful. Since childhood, men are taught to perform and solve problems. They connect love with being needed and valued for what they do. If he does not feel like he has a purpose with you, he will not stay. This is why a man might leave one woman and seem happy with the next. It is often because the new person made him feel significant. To make this happen, you should recognize his efforts without overdoing it. Men want their hard work to be noticed, not to be treated like children getting a trophy for doing nothing. When he does something for you, tell him you noticed and that it made your day better. This makes his effort feel meaningful. Another way to do this is to let him teach you something. Men want to feel capable. When you ask for his expertise, you give him a chance to shine and feel irreplaceable in that moment. Additionally, you should respect his opinions even when you do not agree with them. You do not have to change your mind, but you should show that you value his perspective. When a man feels his voice matters, he feels his presence matters. The interesting part is that while men want to feel significant, they do not want to be with someone who is completely helpless. They want a partner who is strong on her own but still chooses to let him contribute. It is like a dance where you are capable of dancing alone, but you allow him to lead for a few steps so he can feel the rhythm too. Science shows that when a man feels valued, his brain releases bonding hormones that create a deep connection. He stops seeing you as just another person and starts seeing you as a necessity. However, you must also ask yourself if he is making you feel just as significant. If you are doing all the work and he is not, you are a convenience to him, not a priority. A man who does not make you feel irreplaceable is not the one who deserves your love. Building on this, you have to understand that a man's silence doesn't always mean he is withdrawing. Often it means he is processing where he fits in your world. If you fill every silence with your own effort or your own talking, you never give him the chance to step up and claim his space. Significance is grown in the quiet moments where he decides to act on his own. When you step back just a little bit, you aren't being cold. You are creating a vacuum that his masculinity naturally wants to fill. If he fills it, he is investing. If he doesn't, you have your answer. Many women are afraid that if they stop doing everything, the relationship will fall apart. But if the only thing holding it together is your constant work, then it isn't a relationship yet. It's a solo project. You deserve a partnership where your value is mirrored by his actions. Think about the long-term view of a life together. A man doesn't commit to a woman because she is perfect. He commits because he feels like a better version of himself when he is around her. This is the ultimate form of significance. It's the feeling that he can be his true self, with all his flaws, and still be the hero in your eyes. This doesn't mean you ignore his mistakes or accept bad behavior. It means you see his potential, and you respect the man he is working to become. When he feels that kind of deep, soul-level respect, he will move mountains to keep you safe and happy. He stops looking at other options because he knows that what he has with you cannot be found anywhere else. He realizes that you are the only one who truly gets him, and in a world that is often cold and demanding, that connection is worth more than anything. Finally, remember that your time is the most valuable thing you own. Don't spend it trying to convince a man of your worth. The right man won't need a presentation or a list of reasons to love you. He will feel your value because of how you carry yourself and how you expect to be treated. When you carry yourself like a woman who knows she is a prize, he will naturally want to win you. Significance is a two-way street. As much as he needs to feel important to you, you must remain important to yourself. Never shrink your life to fit inside his. Keep your hobbies, keep your friends, and keep your dreams. A woman with her own world is infinitely more significant to a man than a woman who makes him her entire world. This healthy distance is what keeps the attraction alive and makes the love grow deeper every single day. In addition to these triggers, you have to look at how a man views the future. Most women think about the future in terms of feelings and milestones, but a man often thinks about it in terms of legacy and stability. He asks himself if having you by his side makes his life stronger or more complicated. When you show him that you are a partner who supports his goals while having your own, you become a permanent part of his vision. This is why it is so important to maintain your own identity. If you give up your passions just to spend every second with him, you actually become less significant because you've lost the very things that made you a unique individual. He needs to see that you are a complete person who chooses to be with him rather than someone who needs him to survive. This independence is what keeps the respect alive throughout the years. You also need to understand the power of vulnerability. While men want to feel strong and capable, they also need a safe place to drop their guard. If you are always perfect or always in control, he might feel like there is no room for his own weaknesses. By sharing your own small fears or asking for his emotional support, you invite him into a deeper level of intimacy. It tells him that you trust him with your heart, which is the highest compliment you can give. This trust creates a bond that is much stronger than physical attraction alone. When a man realizes he can be vulnerable with you without being judged, he stops seeing you as a romantic interest and starts seeing you as his home. That transition from someone I date to my home is the final step in falling deeply in love. Never forget that the way you treat yourself sets the standard for how he treats you. If you allow him to be inconsistent or disrespectful, you are teaching him that your significance is low. Setting boundaries isn't about being mean or controlling. It's about having a high standard for your own life. A man of quality will actually appreciate your boundaries because they show him that you value yourself. He will see that he has to earn his place in your life, and because he had to work for it, he will value it much more. The love that lasts is the love that is built on a foundation of mutual respect and shared significance. When both people feel like they are irreplaceable to one another, the relationship becomes unbreakable. Lastly, you have to realize that consistency is the secret ingredient that turns a moment of connection into a lifetime of commitment. It is easy to make someone feel significant for a weekend or during the early stages of dating, but real love is proven in the boring, everyday moments. It is found in how you handle a disagreement on a Tuesday night, or how you support him when he feels discouraged about his career. A man tracks these patterns over time. He is looking for a partner who is a steady force in his life, not someone who is hot one day and cold the next. When he sees that your respect and your belief in him do not waver based on your mood, he begins to see you as his partner for the long haul. This stability is incredibly attractive to a man because it gives him the peace of mind he needs to fully open his heart and commit his future to you. It is also vital to keep the element of playfulness alive. While significance and respect are the foundation, joy is the fuel that keeps the relationship moving forward. Men are naturally drawn to environments where they feel they can win, and when being with you feels like a win for his spirit, he will never want to leave. This doesn't mean life is always a party, but it means that the overall tone of your relationship is one of growth and positive energy. When you laugh together and find light in difficult situations, you reinforce the idea that life is simply better with you than without you. You become his favorite escape from the pressures of the world. This emotional safety, combined with the feeling that he is your hero, creates a bond that is impossible to break with simple logic or outside distractions. As you move forward, keep your eyes open to how he responds to your value. A man who is truly worth your time will rise to the occasion when you treat him with significance and maintain your own high standards. He will start to show up more, give more, and plan more. However, if you provide this environment and he still remains distant or unappreciative, that is your signal that he is not the right person to build a life with. You cannot force a man to see your value if he is not ready to see it, but you can ensure that you never settle for being someone's second choice. Your goal is to find that person who sees your worth and matches it with his own effort, creating a life where both of you feel like the most important person in the world to each other. To wrap everything up, it is important to understand that you are not responsible for fixing a man or teaching him how to love. Your only job is to provide the space for love to grow while staying true to yourself. Many women spend years trying to change a man's mind, thinking that if they just try a little harder, he will finally see their worth. But love is not a reward for hard work or a prize for being the perfect partner. It is a natural result of two people who feel significant in each other's presence. When you stop chasing and start focusing on your own value, you change the dynamic of every relationship you have. You stop being the person waiting for a text and become the person whose time is a gift. This shift in energy is often what finally makes a man realize what he has before him. True love is a balance of two people who choose each other every day. It is about a man who feels like a king because of how you see him, and a woman who feels like a queen because of how he protects and values her. If you find yourself in a situation where you are giving all the significance and receiving none in return, it is time to walk away. You should never have to shrink your own light to make a man feel bigger. The right man will want you to shine as bright as possible because your success is his success and your happiness is his happiness. When you find that person, you won't have to wonder if he loves you or if he is ready for a commitment. You will know it by the way he treats you and the way he makes a permanent place for you in his life. In the end, remember that you are the architect of your own happiness. By understanding the psychology of significance, you gain a powerful tool for building a deep connection, but you must use it with the right person. Value your own heart enough to wait for the man who is willing to put in the construction work to build a life with you. When you combine your own self-respect with an understanding of what truly moves a man's heart, you become unstoppable in your search for a lasting and meaningful relationship. You deserve to be someone's priority, not their backup plan. Trust the process, hold your head high, and never settle for anything less than a love that makes you feel just as irreplaceable as you make him feel. Moving forward, you should realize that the way you handle his mistakes says just as much about your connection as the way you celebrate his wins. When he falls short, he is looking to see if you will use his failure as a weapon or if you will maintain his dignity while still holding him accountable. If you can address a problem without stripping away his sense of significance, you prove that you are a safe harbor for him. This doesn't mean you become a doormat. It means you communicate with a level of high-value respect that makes him want to do better for you. A man is much more likely to improve for a woman who believes in his potential than for one who only points out his flaws. This kind of emotional maturity is rare, and when a man finds it, he recognizes that he has found a partner who is truly different from anyone else he has ever met. You also have to keep in mind that love is a continuous journey of discovery. Even after the commitment is made and the rings are on, the need for significance never goes away. People often make the mistake of getting comfortable and stopping the very behaviors that built the love in the first place. Continue to notice the small things he does and continue to let him see that he still has the power to make you smile. When a man feels that he still has it and that he can still make his woman happy after years of being together, his loyalty becomes unshakable. He won't look for validation elsewhere because he's getting the highest form of it at home. You become his greatest source of pride, and that pride is what fuels a lifelong romance. Finally, trust your intuition above all else. You now have the psychological tools to understand what makes a man's heart click, but your gut will tell you if he is actually worthy of those tools. If you apply these principles and he still doesn't step up, don't take it as a reflection of your worth. Some men are simply not at a place in their lives where they can handle a deep, significant connection. By knowing when to give your energy and when to pull it back, you protect your own peace. You are the prize in this equation, and the right man will not only see that, but he will be grateful every single day that he was the one who got to win your heart. In addition to these long-term habits, you must also be aware of the power of your own happiness. A man is naturally drawn to a woman who has her own light. If your entire mood depends on whether he texted you or how he feels about you today, it puts a heavy burden on his shoulders. He doesn't want to be the only source of your joy. He wants to be a contributor to it. When you are happy with your own life, your own friends, and your own goals, you become a high-value partner who is inviting him to join a winning team. This takes the pressure off him and allows him to focus on how much better his life is because you are in it. It is that sense of freedom, combined with a strong connection, that truly makes a man stay for the long haul. You should also remember that your presence has a specific energy. Think about how you feel when you walk into a room. Are you looking for things to fix, or are you looking for things to enjoy? When you bring an energy of appreciation rather than an energy of demand, a man will naturally want to be closer to you. He will work harder to please a woman who is easy to please but hard to fool. This means you have high standards for how you are treated, but you are also quick to show gratitude when those standards are met. This balance makes you a mystery he wants to solve and a treasure he wants to keep safe. It is the ultimate combination that keeps a relationship fresh and exciting even after the initial spark has settled into a steady flame. Always keep in mind that you are the one in control of your heart. You choose who gets your time and who gets to see your vulnerability. By understanding that men fall in love through significance and investment, you no longer have to wonder why things aren't working. You can see the patterns clearly. You can see if a man is willing to build with you or if he is just looking for a temporary place to stay. Use this knowledge to filter out the wrong people quickly so you can leave space for the right person to arrive. The man who is truly meant for you will recognize your significance almost immediately, and he will do everything in his power to make sure you feel just as important to him as he feels to you. It is also important to look at the way you handle his need for space. Most women panic when a man pulls back, thinking that they are losing him or that he is losing interest. They try to chase him or fix the problem, but this actually removes his ability to feel significant. When a man retreats into his own world for a moment, he's often trying to recharge so he can be a better partner. If you give him that space without complaining or acting insecure, you show him that you are a high-value woman who is confident in her own worth. He realizes that you aren't dependent on his constant attention to feel okay. This makes him miss you and reminds him that his role in your life is a choice, not a chore. By letting him go for a moment, you actually make him want to come back even closer. Furthermore, you should pay attention to how you share your needs. There is a huge difference between demanding something and expressing a desire that allows him to win. Instead of saying he never takes you out, try telling him how much you love it when he plans a night for the two of you because it makes you feel special. The first way makes him feel like he is failing at a job, while the second way gives him a clear path to becoming your hero. Men are much more motivated by the prospect of making you happy than by the fear of making you angry. When you frame your needs as opportunities for him to provide value, his significance skyrockets and his emotional attachment to you grows deeper. Finally, keep your eyes on the way he treats your boundaries over time. A man who loves you will respect the lines you draw because he values your comfort and your peace of mind. If he consistently tries to push past your boundaries, he is showing you that his own desires are more important than your significance. Never be afraid to stand firm in what you require to feel safe and respected. The right man will not be scared away by your standards. In fact, he will be more attracted to you because he sees that you respect yourself. This self-respect is the foundation of all great love stories. When you value yourself, you give him permission to do the same, and together you create a relationship that is built on real substance rather than just temporary feelings. When it comes to the "I'm not ready for a relationship" speech, you have to realize this is often a test of your own self-worth. If he says he isn't ready but continues to take up your time, he is seeing if you will accept less than you deserve. A woman who knows her significance will not wait around for a man to make up his mind. She understands that if he doesn't see her value now, he likely never will. By being willing to walk away, you actually trigger a deep realization in his mind. He has to decide if he can live without the unique significance you bring to his life. Sometimes, the fear of losing you is the only thing that will make him realize he is actually ready to commit. If he lets you go, then he was never the right person to begin with, and you have saved yourself from months of wasted effort. You should also consider the way you handle shared adventures and new experiences. Routine is the enemy of significance. When you try new things together, whether it's a hobby, a trip, or just a new place to eat, you create new memories where he gets to be your partner in discovery. These moments break the cycle of convenience and remind him that life with you is an ongoing journey, not a stagnant destination. It keeps him invested because there is always something new to learn about you, and always a new way for him to show up for you. This excitement prevents him from taking you for granted and keeps the emotional bond strong because you are constantly evolving together. In the end, the secret to a lasting connection is being a woman who is a must-have rather than a nice-to-have. You become a must-have when you understand that your love is a gift that must be earned through mutual respect and emotional significance. Don't be afraid to let him see your strength, your independence, and your standards. A man who is truly ready for love will not be intimidated by these things. He will be inspired by them. He will see you as a partner who challenges him to be the best version of himself, and he will value you more than anyone else he has ever met. When you find that balance of being his safe place and his greatest challenge, you won't have to worry about whether he stays. He will be right there, building a future with you brick by brick.